the simplest way for you to start making money, right? I got my Still Growing on right now. So that's a brand that I've been building, and I'm an artist. So that's where I'm gonna start at, right? It's like you could throw shows, but that's gonna be a lot more higher money that you gotta spend. Like whether you gotta get the venue, you gotta get the DJ, you gotta promote it, you gotta book the artist. So that's a big cost, right? And obviously the least amount of money you're gonna make is from like streaming and stuff like that. Like just like whether it's Spotify and you get paid for the actual streams, or whether it's YouTube like this. I love YouTube, and out of all the social media platforms as an artist, this the one that'll get you paid the most. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the advertisement dollars because that's really what you're getting paid on YouTube. If you didn't know, you're getting 50% of the money that advertisers spend on the platform. So YouTube keeps 50% and you get 50%. So shouts out to streaming, shouts out to advertisements, shouts out to shows, but I truly believe like merchandise is your easiest way in. You could take $100, print some t-shirts, and then get outside with the t-shirts. Now, I know being an artist, the first thing I talk to a lot of artists is about them wanting to have a super high quality product. Something that's really, really distinguishable from other pieces of artwork and clothing. But I would go as far to say if like it's your first piece, you want to get your face and your name out there. So I'll give y'all an example of that after I conclude what I mean by really high quality pieces, right? Because oftentimes you end up spending 20, 25, $30 trying to make the shirt. So then by the time you try to sell the shirt for you to make real profits on it, you're going to have to sell it for $75. And let's be honest, an up and coming artist who nobody knows, nobody's trying to buy your shirt for $75. Even $50, that's a stretch. Unless they really, really rock with you. But in order for them to really, really rock with you means they're tapped in with your brand. They already like your music, right? And they also like the t-shirt, right? It could just be that. But you're not a fashion brand. You're not a fashion designer by direct trade, right? And what do I mean by direct trade? That's not what people know you for, right? People know you for making music, if even that, especially if you focused on making music as a music artist. People not thinking of your music and then like, oh, I want to buy their clothes. Like somebody that comes to mind that we all know, like ASAP Rocky or something. He made music for a super long time, but he didn't drop his own clothing line. Like people seen him as fashionable, but they ain't see him as a fashion designer. Shouts out to Rosie, I see you in the chat. You feel me? So it's like even when he dropped his own fashion brand, which most people don't even know about, most people don't know that he has his own fashion line. It's because people didn't wear it. Like people who aren't that enthusiastic about fashion don't necessarily like want to dress like ASAP Rocky in his brand, which is weird, right? It's like you would think like, okay, people want to, accentuate and compliment his style for what he looked like when he dressed that way. But you don't see the average person who listens to ASAP Rocky dress like him. I'll be completely honest with you. Most white people listen to, that's his biggest audience. Thank you for complimenting the hair. I appreciate you. My woman did this. And that's how we doing it? My woman? Yeah. My woman did this. So, like, that's just an example, right? That's the first example I'm going to do two more while we're here. So let me know in the chat if y'all got any questions or if y'all got anything specific you want me to, like, talk about. If you just your first time here, my name's Terrence Harris. This is the Creative Community Channel. I talk to a lot of different creators up here. But I also just come up here to give y'all updates on my story and as well as like real practical skills, tools, and information you can use to get to your purpose. And then once you find your purpose, you get to some paper, right? So give thanks and praise. We're in Atlanta right now. I'm going to make that my second point, right? When you become an artist and then you get you some merchandise, you're going to have to find some places to sell it. So this goes back to what I was saying as far as throwing shows. That's a larger investment. And then even with streaming, it's like you can't determine the price for your streaming. So one thing you're going to have to do is find places to sell them clothes at, right? So you could open up a Shopify and you could start on social media. Social media is free, right? So that's a dope thing about being a music artist is like music is essentially the most important device that you use when you create an advertisement. Every ad you've seen from every big company has music in the background, and that music is super integral to how well the advertisement does. So because you're a music artist, you already have music that you don't got to get cleared by anybody. You don't got to do a licensing agreement. Like you can literally put your music on your own content and add a whole bunch of value to it immediately. Shoot, you could even just run, like most people run advertisements trying to sell something, which you can do as well with having a physical product. But just simply advertising your music is a benefit to you. Being a music artist, right? Like you just want people to hear the music. So that's something else that I want to highlight as far as vending, right? It's like you got to find the vending opportunity, and you can literally just set up and start selling to somebody else's audience. Shouts out to Steve too. You know what I mean? Um, and this is why I like YouTube. This is why I like going live on YouTube. I like going live on TikTok, especially. You know what I mean? So yeah. Shouts out to 67 guy edits. Yeah, you know I got you. Right. I got you. Shouts out to you, my G. So it's like I love going live on platforms like these because the algorithm really suggests for people who don't know you to come see you. So I feel like that'd be a super good way for you to advertise or promote yourself is using TikTok and YouTube Live specifically. Because Instagram Live really just be having you tap in with the people who already know you, which is a vibe too. Like if you want to like nurture with the people who you already know, that's a good job. Shouts out to Philly. You know what I mean? We've been in Philly for like 8 years. So if you don't know what a John is, it's in the dictionary now apparently. So tap in. So that's the second point I want to make is like you got your product and I want to. So let's go back to number one. I like to review stuff. So number one is like we don't want to just be like making super expensive products. I suggest you get a really decent quality T-shirt. You don't want to get no wrinkly, thin T-shirt like Hanes. You don't want to do no Hanes type vibe. Printing on Hanes is crazy. But you get you a nice quality T-shirt. I know a lot of people these days like Shaka wear. And now I haven't gone all the way up there to Shaka wear because I feel like Shaka wear is for really like clothing companies. Like clothing companies print on Shaka wear. As a music artist, you don't really need that. Like if you ever see a touring T-shirt, it's usually like Gildan or another brand is called Bella Canvas, right? So y'all can look those up. That's a gem. Gildan is standard industrial T-shirts. So you'll see like a lot of businesses, like whether it be schools, employment, like jobs and stuff. Like they like using Gildan because it's just a professional, nice weighted T-shirt. And then Bella Canvas is a little bit more for like like department stores or like small brands or small companies. When I say small, like I don't know if y'all know, but a small business is anything up to $38 million, right? Who would have guessed? When I found that out, I'm like, $38 million is still a small business? Like that's crazy. So yeah, small businesses typically use things like that. Hey man, look, if you ain't rocking with it, then that's for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? His name is Boring Cow. It's crazy. We ain't giving that nothing. That's one thing. This will bring me to my third point, but I want to highlight my second point. So the first point is don't overprice your product. If you can get a nice T-shirt for $3 to $5 max, $5 max, like you really getting killed if the T-shirt $5. Sometimes you got to pay that much if you're not getting a large quantity. So let's say you are only getting like 10 T-shirts, then okay, maybe you could pay $5 a piece, and then you get your prints on it, right? So that'll be a couple extra dollars. Keep your product at a low margin. That's what we call it. Margin just meaning like how much you spent on it. So then that way you can multiply that times 3. So if I put $7 into making each T-shirt and I multiply that times 3, that's $21 a T-shirt. So then that means you still got room to do a 50% off sale, right? Because 50% off of 21 is $10.50. And if you put $7 into the shirt, you're still making a nice little, 30, 50%. So that's why people are able to put things on 50% and still make money, because retail price is 3 times the amount that you invested. So if you invested $30 into the shirt, you don't really got no more room to like upcharge it, right? Shouts out to Hammy. So yeah, the second thing is distribution. I called it vending, but in terms that's essentially distribution, right? How are you going to get this shirt out to people? How are you going to get this product out to people? So vending, you can pay somebody for curating an audience. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe, Brody. You know what I mean? I promise you stay here, you gonna grow. That's why my brand called Still Growing. It's for people who really like on that journey, like you just getting started or you've been doing this for a minute and you trying to figure out what's next. Like that's what I'm on. Y'all gonna have me up here late tonight. Yeah, I'm only supposed to be up here for like 10 minutes. And we just hit the 10-minute mark. So y'all want that third that third thing I got to say, just subscribe, like this joint, and I give y'all a third one. Otherwise, I'm gonna get out of here. So, like I said, the first one is how much you invest in your product. You want to definitely start off with t-shirts and clothing and stuff because throwing your own shows can be super duper expensive, and then streaming barely makes you any money. You know what I mean? And then secondly is distribution. So whether that's in the form of vending or just using social media, you feel me? Because social media is free and you can hit algorithms like what we doing here on YouTube as well as TikTok. And shouts out to Instagram as well because they help you nurture audiences you already have. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this third one, right? If you drop the word link in the comments or in the comment section, I can send you what I have called the clarity checklist, right? Now I'm gonna stop doing the clarity checklist this August. So even if you see this video after, I'm gonna still send you what we call a lead magnet, right? A lead magnet is something that you use to get people to stay tapped in with you so you can get their information essentially, right? So when you have a merchandise product, like what we're talking about, like clothing, you can create a lead magnet to get people to subscribe to learn more about your products, right? So if you got any questions about that, let me know because it's like that's a high level conversation on just business, right? A lot of people probably never heard of a lead magnet and they don't know why it's significant to capture people's data. Places like this, like YouTube, you can get banned. YouTube, you can get banned. TikTok, you can get banned. Facebook, you can get banned. They can turn you off whenever they want, for whatever reason they want. So it's important for you to be collecting emails and phone numbers because no one can take those from you. No one can say you can't use these emails no more. No one can take those from you. That's what we call permission-based marketing, right? Where people give you permission to market to them. Like if you ever went to a site and you wanted 15% off, you just give them your email because you want to get the sale. Like you want to get the percentages off. So what we do in this space, especially as artists and music artists, you can give people like early access to your music. And then with that early access to your music, they'll give you their email or their phone number so that you can let them know where and how to get their extra exclusives. And anybody who's willing to give you their information is pretty much locked in. It's very uncommon, like unless somebody just wants something convenient from you. Like I know I've definitely done that before. Like I join your email list, get what I need, and then never come back. But I'll tell you this much: 70% of businesses' revenue come from reoccurring customers. So normally when somebody buys something from you, they're 70% more likely to buy something from you than a brand new person. So I know a lot of people think the money is in finding a bunch of new people, but somebody who gave you $5 is more likely to give you $50 because they trust the gateway that they paid to pay you, right? They trust that gateway that they use to pay you, essentially, right? So if I gave you my email, right, I'm willing to come to your event. I'm willing to give you $5, $10, $20 to come to your event. And if I come to your event, then I'm willing to give you $30 to $50 for a piece of clothing, right? So it's like you're 70% more likely to do that than trying to get a brand new person to buy something from you just off the top. Like, oh, just buy this from me. You've never heard of me. You've never purchased nothing from me, but buy this from me. Like that's much more unlikely. And like I said, retention and reoccurring revenue is the most successful and it generates the most money in your business. So the way you can kind of nurture that is, like I said, with a lead magnet. A lead magnet can be free, right? You can do something like a lookbook, something digital. Typically something digital works, especially in this era. You know what I mean? Because they don't cost you very much. It just costs you time, maybe some skill, some experience in your life. Shoot, you could write like a letter. You could write a newsletter. A lot of people write newsletters when they just want to talk to people in order to like be able to just talk to their audience. They don't play no music, they gonna flag me. Yeah, if they hear that, they gonna flag me. No, you chilling. I ain't worried about the music. If it's like in some industry music, they gonna flag me. And that's what I was just saying to y'all. Is like you gotta use original music when you do these things, like when you go live or you're on social media, they're gonna flag you. So like I told you, as a music artist, you already got an advantage because you could put your own music in the background and stuff. You feel me? So lead magnets, distribution in the form of vending or social media, and starting off with a low ticket product. Like I ain't telling you to not get a really fly joint. I got sweatsuits like this with the pants is $100. The one with the hoodie is $150. So I'm not saying run it up, but you want to like really set the precedent of the quality of the brand you building before you start charging people up. get somebody to buy something for $10, $20, whether it's the show ticket or a real quick t-shirt, some hats, something convenient that you can make, spend $3 to $5 on it and then get your print on it and then get it out there. So then that way people at least know. And this is the last gem. This is not going to be a numbered one. I just wanted to say this. Clothing is a really good billboard. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you could just pay $100 for some shirts and just give them away, because then that's probably going to promote your song better than anything else. Like people are going to ask like, what's Still Growing? I never heard of that. Or if your project is called something, that'll make people ask you about it. Like, yo, what's that? Clothing's always a good conversation starter if it's something meaningful. So yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Those are 3 things. I don't like doing these lives for too long. If y'all want to let me know in the comments if y'all want to hear more about this subject, about selling your own merchandise as an artist or a creative or anything like that, just let me know in the comments. I got you. And shouts out to everybody who pulled up to the live. This was a good joint. I think we had like almost 50 people pull up real quick. And we got some likes and some subscribers. So yeah, tap in, bless up, give thanks and praise. And if you want to get on the Still Growing vibe, shoot. Like I said, drop the word link in the comments. I'm gonna add you to my email list so we can dive deep. You feel me? Bless up. I got some top